Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Mystic Maintenance. We have the lovely Adam here. Hello, thank you for making it.
Thank you. Nervous, but I'm here.
It's so funny because on the outside, you seem like such a social butterfly, and you're always doing something. But that's just what happens when we have guests here with the bright lights and the camera. It's a little bit like, what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, really? There's attention on me now.
We haven't had too many conversations, but I definitely do see you around the community. And one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you is because at one point you said that you want to start your own podcast.
Yes, it's on my list of goals.
Yes, so I was like, we're gonna start today. See if you really want to do this.
I know you're really pulling me out of my shell, to do this.
Yeah. Yes. But I feel like you really help pull people out of their shell. So how we met is we met at the Pride flag raising ceremony like a year or 2 years ago. I don't remember.
It feels longer though, doesn't it?
Yes.
I feel like you've been around my orbit for a while.
Yeah, so we moved to the Central Valley in July of 2021. So this July, we're gonna have been here for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It flies by.
Yeah. One of the big reasons why I really felt drawn to Merced, there's a lot of reasons, but I feel like I saw a lot of pride flags in Merced. And as a queer person, the area that I lived in before was lovely, but definitely not as accepting. So the fact that I saw like pride flags all around downtown, I was like, do I want to set roots here? It's starting to look like yes. Yeah. I could really be myself here.
That's awesome though, because it's been a lot of work to get to this point, with the community itself. So the fact that you come from the outside, come in and being like, wow, this place feels accepting is amazing. And it speaks for how much progress has been made. Yeah,
and you're definitely part of that progress. You do so much. You're part of the Central Valley Democrats. You definitely work with the Central Valley Pride organizations, court-appointed special advocate, which works with foster youth. And I'm probably forgetting some things. You do so much in the community. Let's list all your accolades.
I don't even know. Let's see. I have CASA. I've been doing volunteer work for a long time. I actually started doing volunteer work when I worked with AT&T, which used to be Singular on the base. So I was with them for 8 years. And while I was there with them, the company would promote or do volunteer stuff. And so I went out there representing them. And then I got a taste of it and I just haven't turned back.
I love that.
Yeah, community service is my passion.
Yes. And then you are also the co-owner of a beautiful salon downtown.
Thank you.
But I always butcher the name. What is the name of your salon?
Yeah, it's Luxe Republic Salon, and we are downtown. We're across from a theater now. Cafecito is there in front of us, so it's a beautiful view to see. But yeah, we've been in the salon business. We started in Atwater, and so when I left AT&T, so I was at AT&T for 8 years, and then in 2013. We had an opportunity to open up a salon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's I've been a business owner since 2013.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and it's been a journey. The American dream is not all that it's panned out to be.
Yeah.
They don't tell you all the ins and outs. So it's been a fun, challenging experience. It's come with its rewards. It's come with its challenges. I know, it's just been a roller coaster, but it's been fun. If you enjoy roller coasters, you know the ups and downs of a roller coaster.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's how my volunteer started. And because it led, as soon as we became self-employed and we had a salon, it opened the doors for my availability. So because I'm not a hairstylist, I wish I was. I don't have that art. But my husband, he's the head lead stylist, and so I took care of admin, which is all the behind the scenes stuff, and so that opened the door and allowed time for volunteering.
But that's so beautiful because you need that duality, sort of like how David and I, he's the logical one, I'm sort of more of the mystic free-flowing one. You need that. You are that rock for your husband to bloom and really get his art through hairstyling out there. So
yeah, and it took me a long time to even accept that portion of my life or to fully embrace it, because I think the first couple of years of owning a salon, I felt like I should go get my license. I should learn, because you can't do it. I couldn't even wash hair, right, without being licensed. So I was just trying to figure out, how do I fit into this piece? Because I knew I wanted it for him and I wanted it for us. I just didn't know what that vision would look like. if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So over the years and after getting ourselves on our feet, it just was like, wait, I have time to volunteer.
Yes.
So then I would represent our salon and go do all the things I like to do.
Yes, that's so beautiful. That's like the American dream, to have that financial flexibility to do what you want, to be stable enough to give back. And you're such a generous person, and I love that.
Thank you. I try. I'm not perfect, but striving all the time.
Yes. Shout out to my girl Stella. She does the best dry pedicures. I've always done wet pedicures, but honestly, dry pedicures are amazing. And the salon is beautiful. It's always a vibe.
Thank you.
I always feel so like luxurious and pampered when I go.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. We want people to come in and almost forget where you're at. Mm-hmm. Not that there's anything wrong with Merced, but sometimes you're trying to get out of the outside noise. So we're trying to just create a vibe where you can kind of get lost somewhere else and hopefully run into friends and things like that. So
yes.
We try.
And then finally, you got a director position. You do so much. I love it.
I don't know how that happened by accident. So kind of just a quick. So Atwater started, and then in 2017 we had an opportunity to open up in Merced. So that's how we got our second location. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the girls in Atwater said, "You guys are having fun in Merced. We want to go over there." So we shut down the one in Atwater and opened up. Moved everybody to Merced, and that evolved, and then my volunteer work evolved, and I started doing more. I did CASA. Central Valley Pride came knocking on my door to put flags up, and it just worked out because I was like, wait, that's what I want to do.
Yes.
Because I volunteered a lot with other organizations, but never for my own people. And so I didn't know how to approach it or how I wanted to get involved with the LGBTQ community here in Merced. And then so everything was just so all my volunteer was just stacking up all the things that I did. And also I'm a full-time uncle. My pride and joy are my nephews and nieces.
Aww.
So I'm very much a family person. But to get to where I'm at now, it was almost like I was prepping for this position unexpectedly. One day my cousin was like, hey, we're looking to hire. We need some bilingual. And I was like, okay, well, it's a side hustle. I'm at the salon. I have time. I can slip in something else. And then that within a few months led to me being regional director for Merced and opening up my own office and hiring my own team. Yeah, so this last year's been like a crazy year.
Yeah, director of what? What does your organization do?
I work for Oversight MD. It originated out of Milpitas, the Bay Area. That's where our headquarters is at. And we do enhanced care management. It's something my boss has been working on for years based on his own experience with his mom. Because his mom is Latina, his dad was a white man in the army, but his dad was not around a lot. So it was just pretty much like a single mom type situation, two brothers, him and his brother and his mom. And he really got to see firsthand how the medical system or our system kind of treats those who maybe there's a language barrier or just something, right? And so that pushed him to like, oh, we need to fix this. And then so over the years, there's other companies and other people doing it and stuff like that. But what I really enjoyed what I've learned about this company is I get to put everything that I've been doing for free because I just do things for free. I'm like a yes man. Like, you need something? Yes. Okay. Or Adam, can you handle this? Yes. And so this opportunity came up and they're just like, well, this is what we do. And what do you think? And I'm like, wait, you're telling me you're going to pay me to help others navigate their medical, right? They're essentially everybody who has Central Alliance on Medi-Cal. And people that are on Medi-Cal look very different, right? You can go from being unhoused to what I call the working poor, which means we're working, but we're broke.
Yes.
And so I get to help them navigate Central Alliance, but then I also get to connect them to the community. The community that I've been working hard with to just develop relationships and friendships and all the things, right? When you do volunteer work. And so when this company was like, we want all of it. I was like, and you're going to pay me? Say less. So I wasn't sure it would lead to this. I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't expecting it. It was supposed to be very part-time. And when I say part-time, like 25 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was just a few hours a day, just connecting people. And then they saw my work and organically I just ended up here.
Wow.
Because my boss didn't know anything about my volunteer work. He didn't know anything about my past, where I came from. He just literally saw how I interacted and communicated with our members that we have, and my caring, compassionate. Because anytime you're doing enhanced care management or just caring for somebody, right? You have to. Has to be something in you to do that, because it's a special patience, a special. I don't want to say you love one person more than the other, but caring for people, it takes a lot.
Absolutely.
Whether you're caring for your parents, your grandparents, being a parent, caring for your own children, right? It takes energy. Nobody likes to talk about it, but it's hard work.
It is.
And
it absolutely is.
When I had this opportunity and I thought I could mix it all together and put all my things together, I thought, let's do it. And then I get to help my own people already within. Right now, I am our office focus mostly is out of Monterey County, because that's just kind of where it started. But we're in the process right now of connecting with our Merced community and building that up. We just did the fair, which is a lot of work if nobody's ever done the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to almost not reintroduce myself in a sense, but all the relationships and the friendships I've developed to like bring them in and show them like, this is what we're doing, and I'm going to continue doing what I love, which is being in my community. And if I can get paid for it too, like, why not? Like,
absolutely, the best of both worlds.
Keeps me really busy.
Yes. Did you grow up in Merced or the Bay Area?
Yeah, I was born in San Jose, but my parents moved. I was a baby, so I'm sure it was maybe 6 months, 8 months when we moved to Snelling.
Okay.
I went to Hopeton school for like 2 years, kindergarten and first grade, and we moved first grade. I ended up repeating first grade because of that whole age situation. So when I moved from Snelling to Delhi, I had to repeat first and then go through it. But yeah, I've been in Merced County all my life.
Okay.
So yeah, this is all I know. I travel a lot. All my mom's side of the family is in the Bay Area, up and down the Bay Area. And then all my dad's, I either have family here or we went to Mexico growing up. And so yeah, I have family spread out everywhere.
Yeah. Speaking of the age thing, so you were born November 30th?
Yes.
Yes. So sometimes with the school system, it's a little tricky because you're like in between.
I'm in that like little thing.
Yes.
And so I remember feeling, even in first grade, I remember feeling a kind of way about like, I have to repeat this. But I think it worked out, because when I look at the class ahead of me and growing up and my experiences, and no shade to anybody who was ahead of me, but I just remembered being like, oh, I wouldn't have connected with those people. I don't know how I knew at that age, but I just, even now when I reflect back, okay, yeah, I don't know how I would have, like, I barely survived my class, right?
Yeah.
The group of people you grow up with for the rest of your life, especially if you live in a small community like this. But I look at the class ahead of me and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know where I would have fit in.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it was interesting how it happened. Like, everything happens for a reason.
Yes. I also believe that. And one of those reasons could be astrology. So have you ever had your astrology chart read?
Not 100%, very like sporadic and in and out. Like, and that's because if I would run into somebody and maybe they saw something and they would say something. I've never gone to anybody or asked for a reading. I don't know why. I just never, I'm always in and out of the realms of it. Like, I know a lot of friends, and like mostly friends who are in and out of that, but I've never even asked them to be like, tell me something, you know. I don't know. I feel like it's like a certain kind of respect you have to have for it. And I maybe it's just the way I am, where I'm like, I'm not going to ask that. Like, you have to respect that form. Like, you can't just be, tell me something. Like, I don't know. It's just, so maybe that's why.
You are so respectful. Yeah, sometimes when I do readings for the public, they want like a party trick, and they're like, guess my life to a T.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do, and they're like, whoa. But yeah, I love that you have a respect for it, because it takes a lot of studying to give someone like a proper reading. So, which I'm excited to do for you and see what you think of it.
I know. I feel like you've probably been waiting for a while.
Yes, I have. Yes.
So, you feel free to share whatever you want to share.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you've been, I always think it's almost like, I guess anytime you have an art or a gift or a talent and you can see somebody or something, I imagine, I don't know if you've ever approached anybody and been like, hey, can I talk to you? Or if you always wait for them to initiate. But I just think in my head, I wonder how long she's been waiting to talk to me because of our being in the similar circles. And then I'm always just like on the go.
Yeah.
I'm like, I bet you she's just waiting to tie me down.
I have more to get you out of your shell to do podcasting. That's more why I've been like, let's do this.
Yeah, you've been very encouraging from like day one. As soon as I shared it, you were like, what? Like, let's get you going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I just shared it.
Yeah, because you just have like such a presence. It's just getting over the fear of the camera, which like took a long time for me. I remember one time when I was in college, I did like a speech and debate class, and I could do that no problem. But then as soon as the camera came out, I started like stuttering and shaking. And yeah, it's so weird because it's just an object, but it's like being seen is scary, but we're seen in real life and that's not scary. So it's a trip. It's a trip.
I think that's what I'm working with because I'm one of those people that I like usually never like the way I look in pictures, probably because I feel tired. So when I look at myself, I'm like, oh yeah, you look tired. I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm just thinking about all the other things. And I think a lot of people assume because I'm out in the community so much talking all day, which people are always surprised when I tell them I don't like to talk, but that's all I do all day.
Yeah.
And I've even taken tests of like your strengths, and communication is like the top 5 or top 3, which bothers me sometimes. I'm like, really? This is probably why I feel the way I do, because I'm fighting against my strength. And so that's why I've been dragging my feet with the podcast, because I want to do it, but I think I'm blocking myself from getting there.
I'm so excited to tell you because I see all of this in your chart. So we're going to start. So you are a Sagittarius sun, a Leo moon, which I love that you knew that ahead of time. And then your rising sign is Taurus. Yeah. So the Eastern horizon when you were born, which influences like your outlook, how you see the world, how you see yourself. So Taurus is very logical, hardworking, but also appreciates the finer things in life, and they work hard to have that comfortable life. They're not necessarily like bougie, like I need designer everything, but they like more like quality, like experiencing the beauty, like having a nice home where you feel safe, having a car that drives well, affording like the brand of coffee that you like to drink just because it makes like every day just a little bit more special. So that's part of like your motivation. And then with your sun in Leo, it's very, very close to Mars, which is the planet of manifestation, drive, execution. On the flip side, it could also be anger, but with the moon, which rules emotions, and Mars together, part of your love language and how you show people how you feel, both for better or for worse, is through your actions. So when you love someone, your love language is like acts of service, which you have a lot of love for your community. That's why you're here, there, everywhere. And then with Leo is such a star, such a presence that even though you don't want to, you do become like the star of the show sometimes.
I know, and I don't like it, believe it or not. I know you can't tell sometimes if you see me in pictures, but yeah, you've nailed a lot of stuff. Yeah, that I've been trying to make sense in my head.
And it's funny because, like I said, the flip side, like your actions also show when you're displeased, and you show that through your political affiliations, through your activism, where it's like, this is not cool, and I believe that we can make that change. So that like, it's sort of like when it's hard for you to stand up for yourself, but you'll stand up for somebody else.
Always.
That is the Leo in you.
Like 99.9% of the time, I will never stand up for myself. So that's crazy. Yeah. So you love hard, and you will like defend your people, and you will make sure that they're comfortable. That's just the Leo quality in you. Yeah, and I've struggled with that. It's been a struggle because sometimes I'm helping people who maybe didn't even ask for the help, but they came to me. And so my autopilot is, how can I help you?
Yep.
And I don't mean to be that way. I've been really working on just being an active, good listener. But it's so hard. because I just like to keep it moving. You
Yes.
know? I don't like people dwelling on things. I know, like, let's talk about it, let's learn from it, and let's keep it moving.
Yes.
But now, can I take that same advice? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If somebody gives me any, even though I'm always asking for like feedback and asking for how can I be better, when I get the information, I even just told my boss, I go, can I get 24 hours of just processing time? Because I just need to be in my feelings. Nobody said anything wrong. It's just I strived for perfection, and if somebody tells me I'm off, like I am bad, I'm really rough on myself. So
That is, I'm getting ahead of myself, but you have something in you that explains that. But finally, we have your sun in Sagittarius to round off your big three. So Sagittarius, Leo, Taurus, they're all action oriented, which does not surprise me that you're always on the go, but especially Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the philosopher and the traveler of the zodiac. So that makes sense that you're like here, there, everywhere, because you're meant to shine all over. In so many different places.
You make it sound so sweet. I'm like, I try. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. You know, my family is always telling me, you don't have to say yes to everything. And I try not to, but no, that's a lie. My natural instinct is how can I help? It's still no matter what, even when I don't have time. Even right now, me trying to tell you, like, I try to say no. It's no.
Yeah.
It's not my natural vocabulary to say no. So.
Well, I mean, I do say things in a nice way because I believe that you don't have to be cross, but I will keep it honest. Part of having your sun in Sagittarius, and also Neptune is also in Sagittarius, which is the planet of like illusion, fantasy. You show up for people, but you're very like closed off, where it's like, I will go to the depths with you. I will like listen to you, not judge you, but nobody get close to me. And that's why you keep it moving, because you're scared to let people in.
Yeah, because, you know, it just seems like every time I let my guard down, I'm getting hurt. And so it's just easier to kind of keep a distance, be in it, but not in it. You know, give them as much as I can of myself and then walk away if I can.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm a gentle giant. And I wear my emotion. I'm not a good... I try to hide it, but you can see it on my face.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling a certain kind of way. So that's been my struggle. And I've been trying to do it as I got into my 40s. That's really what I've been working on, is just that part of my life.
And yeah, it's so funny that you're like, I don't like to communicate, but I'm forced to communicate. So your Mercury is at 29 degrees Sagittarius, and 29 degrees is a very special degree. It's called the anaretic degree in astrology. If you believe in past lives, it's like a karmic wrapping up. If you don't believe in past lives, it's just something that you're meant to figure out and conquer it, you know, in your life. And for that, it's communication. And how do you use it to advance a cause, or to really like get your message out there? Because Mercury in Sagittarius is not happy. It's very challenged. So you're very intelligent and you know what you want to say, but getting it out, it's like, it's jumbled. It gets jumbled in the process. But people still love to hear it because it's still in a very philosophical and fiery sign. So even if it doesn't fully make sense, people are like, I still like to listen to you and keep talking.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
I'm always surprised that some of the things that come out of my mouth, and then I have to sometimes explain it because it does come out jumbled. Sometimes like the whole thought's there. It's almost like when you're typing out a sentence, but you're missing like the and, because I'm just like typing it all out. I speak the same way, or I guess I type the way I speak because I have things that I'm trying to express, and sometimes it can come off overly passionate.
Yes.
It can come off angry.
Yes.
Frustrated. So yeah, if you get me on a topic that I'm passionate about, doesn't mean I'm right about it. It just, there's something about it that keeps me wanting to talk about it. But even that, I'm trying to figure out in the last few years. I'm trying to like, how do I scale that back? But I think that's because I'm just trying to work on the overall being a better listener, and not pushing my politics or my thoughts, and trying to be more patient that we're all on different journeys, and common sense isn't everybody's stop, you know?
Yes.
So I think that's where some of my frustration comes in, because sometimes I'm like, isn't that just common sense? But, you know, we all grew up differently. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are shadow sides to each sign. So with Sagittarius, it's like coming at things with a chainsaw versus a scalpel. And that's definitely one of the challenges with communication is like precision. And as you get older, you know, in your life, level up each year, that's what you're going to learn to do with communication.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that I just get better and better. And then maybe I'll just retire right after.
I'm also very excited to talk about where these perfectionist qualities in you come from, and we'll talk about that after this break. Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind the scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCalo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencalo.com. All right, now back to the show. All right, welcome back. So I'm excited to talk about your Saturn at 0 degrees Virgo. So with Virgo has a lot of anxiety to be perfect, because they're like, how can this go sideways? Like, I need to make sure that nothing bad happens. And so that's why they are perfectionists. And earlier you said, like, I always want to be perfect. And that's where that comes from, because Saturn is the planet of boundaries, discipline, business. So yeah,
that's interesting. I didn't know or why I'm that way. I always assumed, well, childhood trauma or something. I'm the oldest of 4, so it just came with a lot of responsibilities, and I always didn't want to be the cause of problems. And the few times that if there was something that may have been linked up to me, even if it wasn't my fault, I took responsibility for it, because I'm just like, well, you know. And then it just feels like it got worse as I got older. I don't know. It just, sometimes that seems to be the thing that holds me back, because if I'm striving for perfection and I don't think I can do it right, then I won't do it. I won't try. And so I feel like I've missed out on a lot of opportunities in my life, because I'm just like, I don't know if I can do that 100%.
Yeah.
So then I'm just like, well, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I've left a lot of projects unfinished, hence my podcast, because the dream is there and I think I can do it. But if I don't feel like I can do it right, then I just shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of progress over perfection, because so many people like have this idea. I've heard so many people say like, oh, I had an idea for an invention and then it came out and dang it, that was my idea. And yeah, that's definitely one of the things that you have to learn. Like, I'm going to do the best that I can and, prepare for as much as I can. And if something happens, I'll deal with it because I'm resilient. Yeah, that's one of the things with Saturn and Virgo. But then you also have Chiron and Taurus. Chiron is an asteroid in astrology that is the wounded healer. So sometimes it's where we try to outwork or out hustle the feelings and not feel the feelings. And because it's at 1 degree Taurus, that's always, like you said, taking responsibility, wanting to like work and make sure everyone is okay. But the side of Chiron with Taurus is feeling your feelings and also, you know, accepting that you're not perfect and forgiving yourself for not being perfect and knowing that you tried the best you could, because you have so many of these like heavy placements in earth energy. A lot of it, I think, what would do good for you is like somatic healing. Have you heard of somatic healing? No. Which is like, sometimes we intellectualize our feelings and it's like, I feel sad. And it's like, no, you recognize that you are sad, but you don't actually like feel sad. Like you don't let yourself cry. You don't let yourself acknowledge like, oh, my chest feels heavy. So there is like a bodily experience with healing. So do you allow yourself to cry?
I wouldn't say I allow myself. There are times that I do get really emotional. But I'm very... I guess I'm scheduled. Like, so if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, but I'm not allowing myself to cry, then I think sometimes what I do is I'll put on a sad movie that I know will trigger it. So then that allows me to release, you know, certain emotions. My go-to sometimes will be like The Land Before Time, the original dinosaur. That's my core memory that I have, you know, with the mom and just that journey and everything. And then, or I can go from that to like The Color Purple, because that's just another emotional movie that one of my favorites, or Beaches. I have just a couple of classics where it's like I know something's wrong and I don't know how to get it out, so let me watch something, and I'll process. And never with the intention, I'm watching it on purpose to cry. It's just I love the movie and I know, I think subconsciously, it's going to get me where I need to be to just like kind of release. But now I'm medicated and it controls my tears and I'm dealing with that. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad that intuitively you have some sort of like routine to help you sort of like feel more in your body and like process your emotions physically, because again, Taurus is a very physical sign. And interestingly, I noticed that this is in your 12th house, and the 12th house is the subconscious, but it can also rule institutions, which foster care is an institution. So is part of your motivation for volunteering with CASA like linked to maybe trying to heal something from your past?
I think so. I think because growing up, I grew up just, we were the working poor. My mom said that we were upper class poor people. So we were at that spectrum of we're poor. Yeah. But we had a house. My parents were working. It was just, but we're there at that because we were not middle class. Yeah. We were just upper poor people. And so I think my upbringing, some of my childhood experiences that I had with family and friends, I think me being the oldest and pending in all my feelings or protecting my siblings or all of that, I think is the reason why because everything I do that I love is around the youth. So CASA was my first, actually before CASA I was part of the 2030 Club. Have you ever heard of the 2030?
I have not. What is that?
It used to be an organization, still everywhere, worldwide, I'm sure, throughout the United States. I know we have still organizations here in California. But 2030 Club was a social group for those in their 20s and 30s. But the one thing that we would do every year would be when school started back, the kids would be nominated by either their friends, their teachers, parents, and anybody who'd started school, but you can tell that maybe they didn't get to go and buy new clothes. Or maybe they didn't get a haircut or something, right? Just because they're that working poor, and not everybody gets new clothes when you start school. So the 2030 Club, the school district would ship all the kids over to us at Target. there would be a bunch of us volunteers who would take them shopping. We would come with this like basic slip that put all their necessities on there, right? Their sizes, what the parents think they really need. And then we would take them shopping. And because I grew up poor, I know what it feels like to only shopping clearance. So I used that as the way to be able to give them stuff, because say the limit was, I think it was like $150 at the time, but like say $200. I was like, I know how to get the most out of $200.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because I was like, I had to make a dollar stretch.
Yes, balling on a budget.
Yeah, balling on a budget. So I was like, I took these kids in and we're like, let's see how much we can get. And then I would always save a good $20 to like let them choose a toy. Because, you know, you're in Target. Like, I want something. And I remember that child that couldn't afford that something. So I was like, I want to give somebody else that opportunity to be able to get something random. And so that's how I started there. And then people kept bringing up Casa and saying, Adam, you should really look into it. And I was like, okay. I think it took me a year before I truly stepped into it. And then when I stepped into it, I went in with fear, because I was like, well, are they going to want somebody who's LGBT, Latino? Like, I wasn't sure. Right? And so when I had an opportunity to join, that was the first thing I asked. Like, before I even signed the paperwork. Before I even, because I knew I could pass the background. I knew all the other stuff. But I was like, let me just see. Because I didn't know if they had anybody to represent that. And I just thought, well, we need somebody in our community who can represent the LGBTQ community. And, you know, and then lo and behold, my first Casa child happened to have 2 moms. And so it was weird how things just kind of happened. And then from that, what else do I do? Well, the reason I'm with Central Valley was because we're very youth oriented. Everything we do with Central Valley Pride is about youth groups and peer support groups and being involved in the educational system with the school and helping out our GSA programs and our little gay clubs in these schools. And then that led now, because I don't think I told you, but I'm also now in Kiwanis.
Oh my gosh, yes, you just do everything.
I am CPR trained and I can run rides at Kittyland, so meet me there. If I'm not somewhere else, I'm there on the weekends sometimes. So yeah, I've noticed this year when I think about all my volunteer work, everything's always around the youth. And I think it's because I'm healing a part of my youth that the things I didn't get to do. I don't remember. My mom says she took me to Kittyland. I don't remember it. I only remember looking through the gate saying, oh, I wish I could get on the rides. And it always seemed like they were closed, too. So it wasn't necessarily because we were just poor, but it just felt like, well, they're never open either. You know, I don't know if anybody remembers, but Merced used to have the big famous rocket that you could climb all the way to the top. So that was like all what I remember. So yeah, all the little things that I do as an adult now, I think back, oh, I'm doing all the things I wish I had as a child. You know, whether it be the love I try to do with my nephews and nieces and just giving them all the extra attention and spoil them. I also wasn't blessed with my own kids, so I also see that as an opportunity to give back to other kids who could use an adult, consistent adult in their life. And so, yeah, I'm sure everything I do is healing my own childhood trauma. I'm selfish, you know, as much as I give. I think that selfish side of me is I'm healing my own wounded child. And I don't even know 100% what's wounded, but I have that ache. If that makes sense. I don't know if anybody's had that feeling of like a heaviness or something, and you can't pinpoint it and you can't blame anybody for it. But there's just something. I think I've expressed this to you before. I always feel like there's a block, but it could be my wounded child block, you know, that I'm trying to figure out, that I also hide from. If that makes any sense.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because another thing I did when I looked at your chart ahead of time is your 5th house and your 11th house also start at 29 degrees. Your 5th house starts at 29 degrees Leo. Your 11th house starts at 29 degrees Aquarius. So what that means, the 5th house rules joy and children and hobbies. And the fact that it's at 29 degrees Leo, a leadership role. And then the next degree over, we have Saturn, which is working in this like leadership way to bring joy to children. And then we have the 11th house of social causes and community in Aquarius. That is a very community oriented sign, but also a disruptor for good. That's like, let's shake this up because I believe in a better tomorrow. That's very Aquarian. So in your chart, which it's hard to show to the camera, but like your 5th house and your 11th house are huge. So those are two very big themes in your life. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never had anybody, like I said, you're really the first person who's ever read it to me. So it's interesting how it all connects and how it does my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of blocks, so each year of your life there is a different theme. And this year for you is a 12th house year, which, like I said, is of the subconscious, mental health, healing, and institutions. So since your birthday last November to your birthday that's going to come up this November, it's a lot of like introspection and like how can you take care of yourself. That is the big theme this year for you. And while you can't actually isolate, other people would actually isolate, but you cannot.
Yeah, I've tried.
Your Leo moon will not let you isolate.
I've tried.
So you're there, but you're not actually present, like in your mind.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like introspection and healing to do this year. And you also have, so your birth chart is a snapshot of where the planets were when you were born, but then after the planets keep moving. So we have a lot of things going into Aries. We have Saturn going into Aries, Neptune going into Aries. So for the next year, you're gonna feel a lot of like, okay, I've given so much of myself, but like, how can I take care of me? Like, yes, I'm feeling this feeling, like, how can I clear it so then I can continue to move in joy and in service? So that's something that you have to like reflect on this year.
Yeah, I think I've been doing that. It's come with challenges. I've really spent a lot of time self-reflecting this year. I am not planned or unplanned, and then it's just come with its own challenges. I feel like I've had people in and out of my life. I've had people leave my life unexpectedly in different ways, whether it be family and us just not agreeing or being on the same page, to friendships. My grandpa passed away recently in the last year.
Oh, my condolences.
I've had 2 aunts pass away in the last couple of years. So it's just been a lot. It's been pretty heavy couple of years. And every time I feel like I'm getting a little further, or at least not so much healed, but just kind of, okay, Adam, you keep it moving, something comes up where I'm just like, and I've shared this with you before, but I'm like, am I being challenged?
Yeah.
Is this a test?
Yeah.
Like, what have I done? And sometimes I because I'm somebody who will take responsibility or blame for everything and everything. Sometimes I take responsibility for things that I had nothing to do with and I wasn't even there. But I just feel bad for the reason that I'm like, how could I have been, if I was there, I could have maybe done something. So it's been a lot of that this year.
So the beauty of astrology is you could look at past, present, and future. And your 11th house, like I said, it starts at 29 degrees Aquarius, and then the rest is Pisces. Saturn moved through Pisces from March 7th, 2023 until like last month. And because, like I said, Saturn is a planet of discipline and boundaries, when it moves through your 11th house of connections and friendships, because Saturn is like no nonsense, sometimes people will leave your life. Sometimes you will disagree and be like, that chapter is done. People are in my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So Saturn was pruning so that your social networks could flourish like a plant. Sometimes you have to trim things that no longer serve it. So from 2023 until last month, that was like a big 2.5, 3-year transit for your social relationships.
Yeah, and I felt every trim. They were unexpected trims, you know, so, and probably needed. Probably some of the trims, the way you describe it, it's interesting because some of it probably was needed. And I probably was holding on to things that I needed to let go. Whether it be family, friendships, things. Because I'm not, I don't live an exuberant life. I'm not somebody who, if I have money, I'm giving it away. Like, I'm just not, I don't manage money well, because if you need it, if you express something, I'm like, how can I help you? You know, just because that's my natural. So there was just a lot of I felt like this last year has been a lot of trimming of relationships and just really learning how to take care of myself in a way, I guess, that like you had explained. Because some of these friendships I realized I was nourishing the relationship, but I wasn't being nourished back, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
or at least not the
absolutely.
way I felt that I needed it. And so, yeah, it's been rough. It's, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. I always tell people it's been a rough year. And last month was really, really like, if I would have met up with you last month, I would have felt like the trim started at the root. Because it just was like, not just a couple of leaves, like we're just going to start over.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like this last month.
Yeah. To end things on a more positive note, so your birthday this year in 2025 to your birthday next year in 2026 is going to be all about you. It's going to transition to a first house year. So you're going to be feeling yourself, feeling your oats. You might get like a makeover. You're going to feel like more glamorous. So
yes, anything and everything.
So you just got to get through your birthday, and then the next year is all about you. And with that, shout out to our Luck and Abundance episode. We have a new Jupiter year starting right now from June to June, and it's transiting through Cancer, which is going through your second and third house. So you're going to receive a lot of luck and abundance in money, which you're not a bougie person, but it's always nice to be rewarded and showered.
I just want to be comfortable.
Yes.
That's what I always tell myself. I don't need to be rich. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
To enjoy the good coffee. Because I am very much about the moments. I would rather spend it with friends or family, enjoying a vibe, enjoying that than to be spending it on clothes or stuff.
Yeah.
I'll walk around with the same clothes that I've had for years and, look like a poor man, but enjoy, like, let's go have coffee or tea at a park, or come sit in my backyard and enjoy your garden.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those. I really like moments, and I'm learning as I get older to appreciate those moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how I'm going to accept, it being all about me, because I'm not used to it. Yeah. But I hope I figure it out.
Yeah. Well, that's the challenge, right? The challenge is to heal those things so that you can experience the joy. So the 12th house test always comes before the first house year. That's how that works. And so for the next 6 months, any financial business deals should be pretty positive. And then from January to June of next year, you're going to have more abundance in your house of like local community, short distance travel, and also like neighbors, children, etc. So
that's exciting. I hope I know what to do with it. Because I like to share everything I get. So I hope that if all that does come and that I'm able to accept it and receive it, because I tend to block things, the people around me should have a good time too, because I'm going to share it all with them.
Absolutely. Do you mind if I pull some cards for you?
Sure.
Have you ever had your tarot cards read?
I haven't.
All right.
No, in fact, this is probably the first time that even the graph you showed me, I've like seen it but never understood it. So you're the first person who's ever been able to explain that for me too.
Yes. So I'm going to pull a few cards for you. I always like to work with multiple decks. So this deck that I'm using is called a tarot deck, and it's the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So this deck you can ask like anything, versus oracle decks are specific messages. So we are going to use the surrender deck. Oh, there we go. And then we're going to end with an affirmation. And I'll show the camera what cards we pull. We're going to keep that one a secret. So we're starting off with Death Reverse, which is that you are not allowing yourself to heal. You're not allowing yourself to be introspective, because again, as we talked about, like, I have to do this, I have to do that. You're not allowing yourself to heal. So definitely take that time to nurture yourself. And then with that, if you do allow yourself to heal, feel your feelings, make a little bit more time for you, we'll get the Knight of Pentacles, which is the stability that you're looking for. And also generosity. We have this gentleman bringing a coin to someone on a horse. So stability for you, and then stability for others. So got to take care of yourself before you take care of other people.
And I tell people that all the time, but I just don't take my own advice.
Yes. And then for your surrender card, what do we have to surrender? We have surrender to what ifs. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So I feel like that's more for yourself. Like, I'm not perfect and I can't solve everything in this moment, but that's okay. Like, I am enjoying the journey and I love myself for it.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I just gotta keep repeating it to myself.
Yes, and then finally we have the affirmation, I am strong. I am stronger than I think I am. I reject victimhood. My strength is in knowing that all circumstances are temporary. I focus my attention to what's in front of me. I naturally move forward in new phases of life. I am strong, and you absolutely are.
No, it's so, yeah, I mean, thank you too for that. I try to tell myself, okay, you're strong, and keep it pushing and keep it moving. But yeah, it's, everything's really lined up. Like, I feel like you've read me pretty good.
Read you to film in a good way, hopefully.
Yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate just your time and patience and making me commit. Because I would have just kept moving around. You would have just seen me outside. I see you through the window.
Well, hopefully this podcast wasn't too scary and we see a podcast with you in the future, maybe.
Yes, and when I can get it together and I do it, and then I'll have you on and come tell us all the things.
Yes, but first is taking care of yourself, making time for you.
I'm going to take your advice and take my own advice and figure out how to take care of myself, for sure.
Yes, before we wrap up, do you want to promote all the things you're doing? Please feel free. Well,
let me see. I'll start with all my volunteer stuff. If you've got time and you don't have your own kids, or maybe you're retired, or CASA could always use more volunteers, more males as well, because we could use more male figures, consistent adults out there. If you are in the LGBTQ community, I know we have a lot of different nonprofit organizations happening in Merced, but definitely come check out our Instagram on Central Valley Pride Center. We're always looking for new volunteers, new ideas. So that's that. Come visit us. We will be planning our Pride Fest for September. We don't have a date yet. I know we should, but we don't. I'm working on it. If you love Kittyland and the zoo, and we're not attached to the zoo, but it's all there, come join us at Kiwanis. We're always looking for new volunteers there as well. New energy, fresh ideas. What else if you're looking for a good haircut and you need to get your nails done, Luxe Republic Salon is right down the street. We're right off of Main, in front of the movie theater. What else can I promote? Oh, if you're on Medi-Cal and you need guidance, we're there for you. I've got a great team who love their community, and we're here to support you as much as we can and get you also connected to the community in a different way. So if you have Central California Alliance and on Medi-Cal and could use a buddy, an advocate, somebody to help speak on your behalf, please come find us. I'd love to help you.
And I will link all of these wonderful organizations in the show notes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know what else I'm doing. But yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on this beautiful episode of Mystic Maintenance. I am so glad that this is finally happening. And we will definitely see you around the community between your healing. Yes. And maybe remind me when you run into me how healing is going. Oh, absolutely. Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, feel free to check out all of those organizations and Adam himself. All right. Take care. Bye. All right, thank you.